Good morning, traders. Welcome to the live trading room. I hope you're all having a great morning or a great afternoon where you are. Right, let's start with the yen pairs. I'm going to look at the yen pairs. I want to start with euro yen and chief yen. Or rather, let's go through all the yen pairs. Let's start with pound yen. So pound yen is still bullish. As expected, we are still looking for this to go all the way up to 156. Morning, Mike. Hello, Hussein. Welcome to the webinar. Just want to get my annotation tool out here. So this is not an expanding flat. Why are we not looking at this as an expanding flat? Here's the reason why. Just to highlight some of the rules that we look at. This would have been an expanding flat if, let's go here. Let's put in the 1,618. Do you see that this has broken significantly lower than the 1,618? So this is not an expanding flat. So that's why we are looking at this as a single pullback. So that means the end of the move was here. So then this would have been the three wave structure as follows. Very sharp zigzag, by the way, that is an ABC zigzag. And it has already started with another move here with 5 waves to the upside. Okay, so we've got 5 waves to the upside here. We want to see how this is going to play out here. All right, so let's see if we're going to get a move here, correction, and then upside. So we'd want to see a deeper correction and still see a continuation to the upside. Not that as deep as we had as deep as we had here, but something like this would be a nice opportunity to ride pound yen to the top up to 156, maybe even break higher. So the structure we're looking at on pound yen is as follows. Let's just do this. Let's just adjust. Right, so we are looking for pound yen to go all the way up to this level. So we are in this corrective structure. We've got a bit of a corrective deep. We've got it a bit deep, almost similar to that size. So we could be looking at this one to be coming up higher. All right, so that's what we have on pound yen. We are looking for this 156. We can break higher because we have broken lower here. We've broken lower, although we just tagged it and broke lower. This can break a little bit higher here to about 160 before any reversal on pound yen. So watch 156 for pound yen. Any continuation to the upside that you find on pound yen, it's a good opportunity to ride it to the top. Let's have a look here. Currently, what we've got is just sharp impulses. We're not really getting decent entries here, but we should get a correction here. This has gone up in 5 waves, as I've already indicated, so we won't be looking for something like this to ride it to the upside, a decent entry. US dollar yen, we're still looking for this to continue to the upside. Remember our trade setup, which is still on the website. Took it from here, it has already gone over. Let's see how many pips is that trade going now. Very, very simple trade, already 162 pips, textbook kind of trade. You should be making money, simple money on that one. That is US dollar yen. Broke out of that running flat, by the way. It made a running flat here with this structure. There was a running flat on US dollar yen. And this, I call it obvious because you all know that we have been looking at the trend to the upside on US dollar yen from right around here. When we forecasted that we're going to get up, we're going to get a pullback, and then we're going to get a continuation to the upside. So that is why even when it made this pullback, there was no issue here with this pushing to the upside, and you've seen all the indications are for upside. In any case, we would not take the trade if all the indicators, including structure, were not confirming. So that is why there was 362 pips on US dollar yen. Right, euro yen. Now, this is the one that I want us to look at because it looks pretty interesting. If you look on the website, we would have forecasted that we could get a double here as follows on Euro Yen. That is a possibility, but we already saw that on the daily, we're getting confirmation for the upside here if you look at the daily structure. So that one more down may not happen, or let's have a look here, may not necessarily happen. We are looking for this here. We've already broken out of this corrective structure. On the daily, by the way, this is a daily flag, so that looks very interesting to at least get up to this level and break higher. That's over 160 pips again from around that level. Let's just measure that. If we get a good entry here from current levels at 129.41 to about 130, just above this, just to take the top here on the last candle here, it's about 133 pips. That is, it looks like it's not a decent risk to reward ratio on the daily, but you will be putting in your stop loss a little bit tighter here and the target here. So on the 4 hour, if we get a setup like that, so we already have a setup on the daily, as you can see, the trend is upside and we are getting a continuation to the upside, just like US dollar yen. Look at this structure on the euro and you look at what you had on US dollar yen. Let's bring US dollar yen as well here. Let's put in two screens here. So you can have up to, I have got an option to put in up to, I think up to, let me see here. Does it allow, how many screens can I put on? It depends on the plan. It depends on the plan that you are on. I'm on a Pro Plus plan. It allows you, your Pro Plus plan has 4 charts per tab limit. So I can put up to a maximum of 4 charts per limit, but that's enough for me. I don't need to see any more than that. Okay, so I just wanted to check that. For those that want to upgrade, the Pro plan is good enough for me. You can get just one plan higher than the free one, should be sufficient if you're not really, if you're just looking for analysis only and not really do presentations and all. So let's just go back to two charts. I just want to show the structure between Euro Yen on the left, and on the right hand side is US dollar yen. Look at these two structures. I want US dollar yen on the daily as well. Or let's put them both on the 4 hour. So we'll put Euro yen on the 4 hour as well. Look at these two structures, very similar, very similar. And as you've seen, Euro yen, US dollar yen rather, has already gone. Already broke out of this structure, confirmed, and then it went. That's the trade we took, 160 pips. Now, Euro yen has also broken out of this structure, and we may get one more down here, which I don't necessarily expect, and then we can go there and get that move. What I was saying about having a good risk to reward ratio on the 4 hour is this. So you may be getting your entry here on the 4 hour, this one pulling back here. So you get your entry just above the flag, your stop here, and your target will be there. This one is a little bit, it's not so such a good risk to reward ratio, almost looks like 50-50, but let's see if we can get a 1 hour entry on this one here. But we'll be looking for this one to continue to the upside. So just note on the website, we forecasted this one more down and then upside is just another option. So the reason why we've got these daily webinars is so that we can show you all these options as well, because we cannot show all those alternatives on a chart. So this is what we have here on Euro Yen. So look for any sign of a good entry here. Let's go back to one chart and see if we're getting anything to the upside here. Let's go back to one chart on Euro Yen. Indicators not showing us anything. The 1 4 hour is well above 50, but we are at the top. Doesn't mean anything if we are at the top, because this is an uptrend anyway. So I'm talking about the stock being at the top does not mean anything. So we are at the top. So we would look for an entry on the 4 hour. So on the 1 hour rather, the 1 hour may give us a good entry here. Let's see if we're getting any decent entry on the 1 hour. The 1 hour, as you can see, does not have an entry either. So we're seeing this. This looks corrective. We can get this one coming back here and giving us this descent flag. So that descent flag can get this one right here, can get this one at the bottom. Then we've got a trade set up for upside. Then we start taking this one to the upside, and we expect the same move as Euro US dollar yen. Okay, so that is what we have on Euro yen. I looked at this on Sunday, the Sunday webinar. This is exactly how we looked at that, expanding flat. Now we've got Chief yen. Also, we saw this flat correction on Sunday, now pushing up higher, but has not really given an entry. We'll be looking for an entry here on Chief yen. Let's clear everything here. So Chief yen looks to be making a diagonal here. Looks to be making a diagonal as follows. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're looking for a 5 here. Now, if we get a pullback like this, then we expect Chief yen to go all the way up like this. So we're waiting for nice setups here. So I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing pullbacks here. So we're looking for decent setups here on this pace. So if we do get one here on Chief yen or Euro yen, we'll be looking to take it up higher. Look at this. This will look very good. If we do get our 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 leading diagonal, and then we started with a move to the upside, whether this becomes a bigger wave, 1, 2, and then upside. Remember where this is coming from. We're looking for this move to continue to the upside because we've got this continuation pattern here. Although they did not reach the blue box, as you can see, we're looking for this, but it does qualify to be a zigzag, so we can get this one as a leading diagonal, and then this one pulling back. It does not have to pull back as exaggerated as I'm showing it here. Any corrective structure here, we'll be looking for it to push up higher, provided that that corrective structure is coming with this resetting at the bottom, this remaining at the top. Whether it's here, it doesn't matter, as long as we get an entry here. Then we look to take this one back to around 119, which is about 200 pips from current levels on Chief yen. CAD yen pushing up higher, 3-wave pullback. Is this another 3-wave pullback? Are we going to see CAD yen make a drop and then upside? It's not giving us a very convincing entry here. We're looking for a convincing entry. It is pushing up higher. We can see there was an entry here. It is actually not, because this is right in the middle of nowhere on the 4 hour. Maybe the 1 hour would have given an entry, but I wanted to get a decent one on this one. Let's have a look. I wanted to get maybe even another leg to the downside, but it looks like it's not giving us that. If this is all the correction and CAD yen is done, this also still looks like a diagonal here. Now, whichever way this diagonal is going to play out, we need to get an entry here as follows before it pushes to the upside. So do not rush in it. We know that we are looking for a parabolic move still to the upside on CAD yen, but it just doesn't seem to be giving a decent opportunity as yet. Yes, we would have gotten this one here around this level. If you took it, well done, then you actually do have a trade here to the upside. But I want to get in another decent corrective structure before we push to the upside. That is CAD yen, New Zealand, pushing up higher after that 3-wave structure. So we also have made a pulsing move here. Looks like 5 waves here. So let's see if we can get back to the 38% here and then continue to the upside. Audi yen, it's more convincing of all the yen pairs in terms of upside, because it's giving us a nice flat, regular flat correction here before this continuation to the upside. This is the regular flat here on the 4 hour on Audi yen. Perfect running flat here. Breaks the top, does not break the low. So this is how we're looking at this here. 1, 2, 3. Looking upside. These are 5 waves, so we should get a pullback here somewhere. So let's wait for an entry here for upside on Audi yen. You don't want to take it here because this may still pull back and give us an entry, maybe even pull back to the 50% of this before it takes off to the new high, and then do this. That is Audi yen. We'll be looking for that. Right, so continuation to the upside on all the yen pairs. You can see there is strength on the yen pairs looking upside. Okay, so that means the yen pairs are showing some weakness. That means there is no risk in the market. Usually the yens are a safe haven. When you see the yen pairs falling, that means there is people are putting their investments into the yen pairs because they are the so-called safe haven assets. And as you see the yen pairs push up higher, you'll see that the commodities push to the downside. There is an inverse correlation between that. When there is risk appetite in the market, the yen pairs will push to the upside, and vice versa on gold. So when there is uncertainty in the market, the yen pairs drop because people will be buying or putting their investments on the yen pairs. They are the safe haven assets. So if they're buying the yen pairs, also they will be buying gold as well. So as a result, you get an invest, you find gold pushing up higher. So it is only natural that you see the commodities pushing lower, especially gold. While the yen pairs are pushing to the upside. Now that's why you see gold. We did say that the gold is not ready for a move to the upside, even though we expect that we may get one more move to the upside here. We saw this one on the 1 hour for a push to the upside, to the downside yesterday. So this one is still coming down here. This is 1, 2, 3. It looks like 1, 2, 3 waves. We've done all these 3 waves here on gold. Okay, it was not so clear on gold, but it was clear on the yen pairs, because not rather on silver, where we actually reversed on the blue box. Gold did not get to the blue box, so that's why this structure was not clear to us as far as gold was concerned. So it is actually this structure on gold. So that means gold has done this, This move we were expecting it to reach the blue box at around these levels. You'll see the difference between this and silver. So we wanted gold to push a little bit higher. So when that didn't happen, we were even looking at this structure as a complex correction as follows, and then one more up, but then downside. Okay, but then downside. So we were bearish, we were just looking for this correction. Even yesterday, we were looking for this one to possibly push one more up and then downside. But that's how it has played out. Silver, just looking at that structure, you will see that blue box where it reversed on. So I think if we had followed that, then we would have known clearly the direction that gold will take, and that we were not going to expect that bounce to happen. Let's just show here. So that blue box on silver, if you remember, we projected it there. It just right at not a peep higher, not a peep lower. That's where silver reversed. And we were looking at that to be a continuation pattern to the downside, because we were looking at this structure on silver. We were looking for silver to come to around the 22 level. Why have we been looking for the 22 level on silver? Simply because we were looking at this structure. So you can see that that is exactly how this is playing out. And if we are still bearish commodities, that is why we are bullish the yen pairs. Okay, so bullish the yen pairs, yen pair or pound yen, all of them. So look for upside until we get to this level or around silver and then gold. So we're still going to see more downside on silver and gold. No reversal as yet that we're expecting on the commodities. Brent crude. Is Brent crude ready for a move to the upside? Yes, as yet. Let's have a look at what is happening with Brent crude. So I've done the yen pairs, and I want to finish the commodities, and then we're going to go to the rest of the pairs. That's Brent crude. Now let's have a look at the indicators on Brent crude. There are two ways to look at this. This has pulled back, and we are looking at this as an impulse. Is that how this is going to play out? So we have come on the daily, we are above 50. We have reset it at the bottom here. So it looks like oil is ready for a move to the upside. So if that is the case, that means this is a corrective structure here. Okay, so that is a corrective structure. So that means this is actually a 3-wave structure as follows. This one with a longer leg. Now, for us to confirm upside here, we need to get a confirmation for an entry here on the 4 hour. And then oil will have pulled back like that, and then we'll start resuming we're resuming the move to the upside here. Okay, so that's what we're looking at on oil. Let's go to the 4 hour. The market looks very interesting, guys. So if you trade responsibly here and you don't rush, you should be able to make some decent monies. Right, so oil 4 hour, there is no trade setup. As you can see, we are still above here. Right, so the daily is showing us that we need to push to the upside. We're at the top here, but we're above here, or we're about 50. This looks corrective to me so far. So this can still do this and then go more sideways. But let's watch how this goes. So well, let's look at the 1 hour first to see the next immediate move. 4 hours not giving us a setup. What about the 1 hour? Let's have a look at the 1 hour. So this is the 1 hour. It's showing us this structure here, corrective structure here. Are we going to push to the upside? My indicators are not showing here. There we go. So the 1 hour looks to be setting up for a bit of a push to the upside. So the reason why I'm looking at this 1 hour is to see whether we are gonna take off from here, because the 4 hour is not showing us continuation to the upside. Okay, so let's look at the 1 hour. We are above 50. We are resetting. So looks like we are going to see a bit of a push to the upside. What structure will this be? Will this be the correction for the whole move here? Let's get that whole move back on here on the 1 hour. Now, like I said, there are two ways to look at this. The one will be if this is a 3-wave structure like this, or it is 5 like that. Both possibilities are valid. Okay, so if we're looking at this as 5 waves, then this one has started a 3-wave structure to the upside. Even if we do push to the upside, we may get this one doing this. I'm just showing 2 zigzags here. It can be any corrective structure as follows. Then you get a WXY here. Then you get another 5-wave structure here as follows. Either way, then we resume with the move to the upside. So it will be a decent move. If oil can go more sideways here, then we'll know that when it starts pushing to the upside, we get a decent move to the upside. This is pretty impulsive to just go take off like this, but we'll be watching that and looking at the indicators. Right, let's go to the US dollar pairs. Let's go to the 4 hour. They have played out as expected from yesterday. We expected a continuation to the upside. This is the DXY 4 hour. As we said, whatever we're expecting here, a reversal is not coming, and the indicator keeps showing us continuation to the upside. There's no sign of reversal as yet here. So let's just see what we're going to get here. There's not even divergence, not even in the lower degree. Maybe in the higher degree, there's still this level here. But if this touches this level, that means there's no divergence between this and that. So that means we may have ended the move to the downside here on the DXY. Let's keep an eye on how this develops. For now, whatever we're getting is continuation to the upside. That's what we were yesterday. We're still pushing to the upside. Let's wait for another structure here or a reversal. Right now, there's nothing there. Just like as we see on the euro, we have pushed down lower. Also from yesterday, this is where we were. Sunday, this is where we were on Sunday. Yeah, Sunday we were making this corrective structure here. No. We were here. We were here. So we're looking for this one to even push up higher and make continuation to the downside. So that is what has happened. No sign of reversal. You can see the RSI very bearish and we are at the top again. So we're still going to push to the downside. There is no divergence either. So if this is going to drop here, let's see how far that's going to go. If there's no divergence, that means we're still going to see much more lower even if we do pull back. Okay, so that means the euro, if we go to the weekly chart, same as the DXY. So if we go to the weekly chart, that means those 5 waves have completed. But remember what I said, if these 5 waves have completed, what we were looking for on the euro was this structure. How does that change the structure? We were looking for this to get here. But if it just reverses here, this structure does not exist in the wave theory. Some call it a contracting flat. I do not know where they get that from, because there are no rules, no guidelines for that kind of structure in the wave theory. It's not there. So if we're looking at this to go to the downside, if it's going to continue to the downside, possibly to the 50% of this whole leg, the whole structure will be affected as follows. You would have this as a pulsing move. You would have this as, even if this is corrective, let's just say this is corrective as this, like this, as follows. 3 waves down here, we could have this one starting. We'll update as and when it happens. So this is an impulsive move in the lower degree. So this wave here is not the same as this anymore. If it was going to be the same, it was going to break higher here and give us a zigzag as follows. So that means that is a different degree. So in that case, that means we may still be going sideways pretty much more. How so? As follows. So we've got a move down here that looks like 3 waves. So if we're going to get a pullback here and get another 3 waves back to about the 50% of this, we could get this one retesting the top. Then we get this one doing this 3 waves here, we get a move to the upside, then we get this one to come to the downside. So we could be sideways for quite a number of months or years here in this range, but it is a tradable range between 125 and 1. So it's still quite a tradable range. Even if it takes years, we should be able to make money within this structure. So those that cannot see exactly what this structure will be, this is what it could possibly look like. So this is only a forecast. I'm not saying it's going to play out like this exactly. We'll obviously be taking it one move at a time. As you can see, we do not get, if we're going to look at this one, we're looking for this to continue to the upside, but we never get that confirmation for that move to the upside because the indicator was showing us that we need to go to the downside. So what does that mean? That means there was no correlation between or confirmation between the structure and the indicator. And we only take the trade when our structure confirms, or rather when the indicator confirms what our structure is showing us. So we could get this one here back to the 50% around these levels at around 1,141, 1,14 just. So we are pushing to the downside. We are bearish. The daily chart has already broken below the 50. So what structure will this be? This will be an ABC corrective structure. So that's why if the structure internally, if your sequence or your cycle, your count is wrong, internally in the lower degree, that means you have to go back up and see what's going on. That's why we are back on the weekly to check where we have gone wrong. Not necessarily what we have gone wrong, but this is all the information that you had before this played out. That's all you had. So that's why we would adjust the structure as follows. Right, triangle with one impulse, could it be? No, we already have an impulse. You already have an impulse, so the triangle is already invalidated here. These are 5 waves. These are 5 waves. So if you are looking at this as a triangle, it does not look like it will be a triangle. It's too impulsive. So that's the structure we will look at. For now, we're not worried about the rest of the structure. We are able to know what the next move is going to be. And the next move here is not upside. We're still continuing to the downside. And that should follow what the gold is doing as well. We're still pushing to the downside. We will watch this as it comes to about the 50% of the whole move here. So let's see, 38%, have we reached the 38%, 50%? We're actually just at 38% right now. Let's see what happens at that level. But likely we'll see what happens at the 50 to 61% of this move. Okay, so that is Euro US dollar, Pound US dollar. Now Pound US dollar, yes, we are pulling back here. We'll go back to this correction. If you remember, we said the correction is not over. We're expecting this to possibly come to the equal legs here, the blue box, and then upside. And we have projected that blue box. We've also done a blog on this pair. You can check it out on the website if you haven't already done so. You should have if you are trading actively. So let's see if pound is still going to push to the downside. The projected blue box is around 135 here. If pound is still going to continue to the downside here. So there's the move. We are at the top here. We are below 50. So this should continue to the downside at 135. US dollar chief. Another entry for more upside. Just like the DXY, we're seeing more upside. Even today, we've just got this confirmation for upside. We look at where we are here. We're looking for more upside on that US dollar chief. All right. Strength in the US dollar. All right, so that's what we have there. Let's look at Audi US dollar. Now this is Audi US dollar. So guys, US dollar, Audi US dollar, we're looking for downside. We're looking for downside. So yesterday we were not sure. Now it looks like it's confirming what we're looking at now. Look at this. This is a trade to the blue box. We break below here. Now we can see what this is doing. So we're going to be looking for this to come down to the blue box. 7450. Where are we now? We are currently at 7637. Why are we looking for that to continue to the downside? We have been looking at the option of, so this is what I keep saying, that as much as we have more than one alternative. The one will confirm. That means doesn't mean that if we've got two alternatives, you're going to miss one. So look at these three waves. So we have been looking at this. Is this over? And now we're going to continue to the upside from there. So we were not sure. So we said we wait for more data. Let's see. If we're still going to continue to the downside, we need to get a confirmation here. How do we get confirmation? If it's going to go down, we're going to wait for this. And the indicator must confirm. That means the stock must be at the top. RSI must be below 50. And that is exactly what we have now. We've got the stock at the top. We've got the RSI just below 50. This is what we want to see to confirm downside. What is missing is we want to see this one go below. We want to see a candle close below that. That means it will be a trade setup for downside. So you can take it down to the blue box. So you can take it down here. So watch this to come down to the blue box here. That's what we're looking at on Audi. Your chart is too large and cannot be saved. I'll have to look at this. Okay, so that's what we're looking at on Audi. This looks like a setup for more downside. Now we can say with confidence what we're looking at. As long as this closes below the flag, then we're looking for this one to continue to the downside. A 4-hour candle must close below the flag. New Zealand, same. You can see that setup. That is a setup for downside. Cycle to the downside, incomplete. What do you want to see? We want to see this one close below the flag for it to continue to the downside. So flag, setup, indicators on the 4-hour confirms what we're looking at. We are below 50, so we're looking for this. Look for New Zealand, US dollar, and Audi US dollar to push lower. South African Rand. Okay, South African Rand, we have been looking at this one to be a 3-wave corrective structure. We've pushed down lower, but we didn't break lower than the flag. Looks like we're going to get another setup here. But if we look at the indicators, it's showing us that we're going to push a little bit higher, unless this one continues to the downside here. But as it is now, we have not confirmed downside, but we are looking for this to continue lower. Even if we do push back up here, we'll still look for this one to come down. That is the South African Rand. As much as there is US dollar strength, this is still showing weakness to the downside. Or rather, the South African Rand is showing strength against the US dollar. Okay, so we've gone through the, what have we gone through? The yen pair. So I'm going to go right through to the pound pairs. This is now pound chief. So pound chief, we've broken out of this structure. Look out for a corrective structure, a decent corrective structure from here. We'll be looking for upside. This is a setup. This is a setup. We are above 50. So look for a continuation pattern to the upside, whatever we get here. So far, it is not a decent one to take at this level. But if you are taken on the breakout of this structure, you should be fine. You should be fine. That's okay. That's acceptable. So you could also be looking at this as a flag, but that just means that the stop loss will be far, because then you'll have to take it on the close of the candle above this. Then we look for upside. On CAD, exactly as expected, look for this entry here to the downside. Okay, this was a trade of the week 2 weeks back when we looked for this one to drop. It does drop and come back around these levels and push back up. Yesterday, we saw this one as an expanding flat. That's exactly what we said. It's going to come up here and it's going to drop. That's exactly what it has done. If you watched yesterday's webinar, this is what we looked at. Now, look for entry for downside around these levels. You want this to be below 50. That's how pound CAD is looking. Pound Audi. Now, pound Audi, pound New Zealand, all pretty interesting now. Looks like those structures that we're looking at may have come to an end as follows. The 3 up, 3 down. Looks like these 3 is actually done. Why are we saying these are 3s? These are 3s as follows. I've been showing this for weeks. We could be done here. 3 here. 3 here. 3 here. 3 here. Like that. I've shown another alternative on Sunday. If you want to look at the other alternative from Sunday, you can check it out on the YouTube channel. I hope you guys watch the Sunday weekly outlooks. Right, so this is what we have. If we're going to get any continuation for downside here on pound Audi, we're going to take it, because if we do get downside, we may be coming back to around 174. That's about 600 pips from current levels. Pound New Zealand also confirming the same thing. Pound New Zealand, let's switch off. So the blue box, we have reached the blue box. Can you see the blue box on pound New Zealand that we've projected? We are right in it. And it looks like we're reversing on it. What were we looking at? We're looking at this as 3 up, 3 back, 3 up. Right in the blue box, we've got a reversal. Is that a confirmed one? If we took it from the blue box, well done. Now I'll be looking for this. If we do get a trade set up here, it will be a decent one, because we'll be looking for this to get around these levels. That's over 1,000 pips from current levels. So any continuation to the downside, 4 hour, 1 hour, look for entries. Okay, look for entries here. So this sequence may be done here with this W, X, Y structures. Those that can see this X is actually this running flat. We'll be looking for this. All right, that is pound, euros. So if we're expecting the pound to push lower, we may be seeing that bounce that we've been expecting on pound, euro pound. Can we see the bounce back up to this level? Let's see if we're going to get that. We are still bearish now. We are at the top, and it looks like from current levels, we're just going to continue to the downside. This is very bearish. That's why it does not even have any momentum to push up higher. Every push to the upside, it just continues to the downside. Let's see if it's going to do this. If it does this with divergence here, then it can push to the upside. At the moment, there is nothing showing us upside here. Euro pound. Euro Audi, I showed you the 2 alternatives yesterday. So if you're looking at this, we could be coming to retest this level. Looking at the structure like this. One, let's switch off here. Always good to see the structure and not just the labelings and the structures there. Looking for that to go retest the lows there. Then we'd have this as a pulsing move, a correction, and another pulsing move before continuation to the downside. It's a possibility that we get that around these levels. See, it's not support or resistance, it's structures and the sequence. Euro New Zealand, it was unexpected that we would do this, right? But we did see that we've made a 3-wave structure and we're going to continue to the downside. Any pullback here, look to take it to the downside. We are bearish, we are coming down, and especially at the end break of this, we'll be looking for this to continue to the downside. Look for any entries to the downside. Those who saw it earlier could have taken a trade here on the 1 hour. There was no trade set up on the 4 hour here. As you can see, it was at the bottom, but the 1 hour had a trade set up. So this was the 1 hour trade setup here, with this at the top, with this one below 50, this one closing here. Okay, so that is what we have here. Looking for continuation to the downside. Will the 1 hour give us another one? So this is pulling back here. If we do get another pullback, we'll look to take it down. Look for 1 hour pullbacks. EuroCAD. EuroCAD. Are we going to get a bounce here on EuroCAD? Let's see. Doesn't mean that just because we've broken lower here, it's not going to happen. We, however, do not have divergence. So if we're going to look for another entry here, look for a decent pullback. The entry you should have had is what we showed here when we were still here in this corrective structure. If you look at this, there was not decent entry really to take around this level. So here was one here, but it was too close to this. Let's see if we're going to get any corrective structure. We're still looking for downside. We have been bearish EuroCAD for a while, for about 4 weeks now. So we're not looking to buy EuroCAD. The same way we're not looking to buy US dollar CAD. Now this is Euro Chief. So Sunday we saw this. We're right at the top there. We're expecting this to continue to the downside. We make 3 waves down here. Looks like we're getting this corrective structure. We are at the top here. We've just popped up about 50. Can we see Euro Chief continue to the downside? Let's see how that is going to go. Not a very nice corrective structure at the moment, but let's see. So Audi New Zealand makes 3 waves down in the 1 hour, 3 waves down, 3 waves up. Looks like we're making an impulsive move to the downside. We should see continuation to the upside from there. EuroCAD, rather AudiCAD. The correction in Euro New Zealand, is it a triangle on the 1 hour? Which one? Which one, Chima? If you're looking at this correction, this is an expanding flat. 3 down, 3 up, and 3 down. That's an expanding flat. I'm not sure where you are seeing the triangle. If you are looking at this, then it cannot be a triangle. It's not a triangle. We know you can actually make a case of a what we call a running triangle. If this is what you're looking at, Chima, this can actually be a running triangle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A running triangle is the only triangle where the B breaks the high of the swing. So this can actually make a decent running triangle. Just don't like the fact that the bottom boundary is coming down as well, because this can actually look like a motive wave. But this looks like a decent, complies to a decent running triangle. Okay, so yeah, well spotted. Can actually be a running triangle. It's a rare triangle to find. It's a rare triangle to find, this one. This one, Chima, thank you. That is Euro New Zealand. Euro Chief, we are on the CAD pairs. Audi, we are on the crosses. We are on the crosses. Audi CAD. Now, Audi CAD was pulling back because of the oil correction. We've made this. Is this down? Are we going to see downside here? Let's see if we're going to see more downside. As follows. Oil will be the driver for that. Audi Chief. Very slow pair, this one, especially over the last couple of weeks with this correction. We are still looking for this to take the top here. Nothing has changed. New Zealand CAD. Are we ready to continue lower? With oil looking like it's resuming a move to the upside, we may be resuming a move lower here. If we're not, we're going to see a corrective structure here like this. Let's just wait for more data on that. New Zealand Chief. New Zealand Chief has made 5 waves up. These are 5 waves to the upside. 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks like we're in the 5th wave. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we'll be looking for this. Is this a pullback, or is this resuming a move to the upside? on New Zealand Chief after making this structure. So it looks like we are going to see continuation to the upside here. 1, 2, 3. These are 5 waves. So if it's 5 waves, any decent corrective structure back to the 38% can take it up higher. Especially breaking above this will confirm that we're seeing upside, just like the strength on the other New Zealand CAD. What is the idea of the wave touching the top and reversing? That's just completing the structures. That is just completing the structures. So for example, if we're looking at A, and this is a B, so you'll hear me saying, I just want to see this one maybe break the low here. It's just to confirm that it is complete, and then we'll look for a reversal. Okay, so, or even just touch. So we're just looking at the structure, nothing new. All right, so that is New Zealand Chief, CAD Chief. So CAD Chief, just like CAD yen, we are not really getting an entry that we are looking at. We are looking for, rather. We're not really getting the entry that we're looking for. We know that this is bullish, and we need to get entries for upside. So just keep watching this for a decent entry. If we get this one pulling back here, this will be a decent entry. We can ride it all the way up to the top because this is a bullish move, just like CAD yen, but we want to get a decent entry. Okay, so this may have been one here, but since it has pushed up here, we can see that we don't have a decent pullback here. Let's wait for those decent pullbacks. So CAD yen and CAD Chief, look for decent pullbacks. That's what we are looking for on oil as well. S&P 500 and the indices, I'm not going to do anything here. You're still looking for those continuation patterns to the upside. We're not looking for anything new there. I'm not even going to go through this. Let me just open one by one, see if there's any change. No change on the Dow Jones, still pushing up higher. Industrial, nothing, we're pushing up higher. Nasdaq, let's have a look. So the Nasdaq may be slightly different. We have got what looks like 3 waves to the downside and 3-wave pullback. This looks like it's going to drop to the downside. Let's watch this here. If this remains here, the Nasdaq may retest the lows at this level. Then we'll adjust the structure here on the Nasdaq. The UK 100. UK 100 is pushing up higher. So we are looking at this as a move up, not like that. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. This could be another 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's why this is pushing up higher. We saw that when it was breaking up higher here. DAX, really nothing new. It's just a pulsing move. We've already seen the correction. What new analysis do we give here? Nothing. It's an impulse. Nikkei, continuation to the upside after making the flat. Nothing new. Looking for upside. Nifty, look for entries to the upside. Got that, and looking for continuation to the upside. And that's what's happening on the Nifty. And the cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin has pushed up higher to over 58,000. We're still expecting it to push further higher. We're still expecting it to push further up higher. Whether it's going to go to 65, 70,000 from the current legs, we've already looked at this. We've taken it from the blue box you saw on Sunday. Still holding that position. Already made a push of over 8,000, or rather 6,000 from 51,000. We're looking for this to continue to the upside. This morning, it has just broken out of this corrective structure on the 1 hour, but it's not really gone anywhere. So we may see another one for more upside. Ethereum also made a continuation pattern here, but it looks like it's not going much anywhere. We may get to see another 3-wave pullback here before a push to the upside. We go to the 4 hour. So we are already on our way to the upside for Ethereum. At least we need to see 2000 here. Okay, 1, 2, 3. So we've got 3 waves down. Is this going to be a 3 waves up? And then we come retest the lows here around these levels. Let's see how this is going to perform. That is Ethereum Litecoin. Litecoin as well. We'll be looking to come and do this retest the top around these levels. Structure is still the same. We're still looking for this to do that. 3 and then upside. That is Litecoin. Ripple. This correction is not done as yet. It is still pushing up higher. We're still looking at this as a corrective structure. This one can still push up to the lower top of the boundary here before pushing lower as follows and making this structure. All right. That's all I have for you this morning. Don't forget, from next week, we'll send out a note about the afternoon sessions. We'll confirm that in this week or the beginning of the week. Have a great day, everybody. I will see you tomorrow. Cheers, guys. Bye-bye.